David with Cartoon Fortress. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel today. It's always great to have you here. And today, what I wanted to do is present a product from a company that's been on my radar recently. The name of the company is Bitmap Books. They're based out of the UK, and I happened across them online. I believe it was maybe even just like an advertisement on Facebook or something like that. And I jumped over to their site and was immediately interested in what I was seeing. So, interestingly enough, soon after that, my buddy over at Serial at Midnight, Heath, who does absolutely fantastic work. If you haven't gone over there or taken a look at what Heath and Bree, also over at the channel, are doing, jump over there and subscribe. He has a ton of great content, a lot of movie collecting and books and music. Not to mention, he's always at the forefront of breaking news for movie releases and things like that. So, Serial at Midnight, and I'll be sure to drop a link in the description below so that you can get over to his channel. But interestingly enough, Heath featured, he's now featured a couple of videos with products from Bitmap Books. And so after jumping over to their site, when I saw the advertisement or whatever it was, and then seeing Heath's unboxing and kind of tour of the couple of books that he's gotten from them, I knew I had to make a purchase. So after watching Heath's video, I went over to their site and I purchased the unofficial NES Famicom Visual Compendium. So this is a visual guide to both the NES and Famicom systems. As you can see here, we have a really nice presentation here. So on the cover, and this is a very thick, very heavy book, and the cool thing here is that we don't just get a hardbound book. It's actually encased in this nice hardbound outer box here, and it's a very thick box. It feels very substantial, very heavy, and high quality. And the cool thing is, on the cover here, we have all of these little thumbnails of a lot of the characters that we know and love, and it's a lenticular cover. So if you move, and I don't know if how much of this is going to be able to come through here, but if you move the cover there, the fact that it's lenticular, the characters, or these little thumbnails, animate, which is a really cool effect. So I'm really excited to jump in here. Now, the two books that Heath featured over on his channel were, they have a book on Micro Machines, which is another, NES is about the most nostalgic thing I can probably think of from my childhood, aside from movies, would be NES. But so he took a look at Micro Machines, which are a nostalgic thing for me, and also Atari. Now, Atari wasn't a system that I owned growing up, and so I feel a little bit of distance from that in terms of having nostalgia for that product specifically. But in terms of the content that is presented here by Bitmap Books, and just the articles and the research and everything that goes into putting these together, even if you're not really involved with the systems or have memories with these different gaming systems, these are an amazing archive of images and documents surrounding these systems. And what's presented here feels very archival. I mean, it feels like if you went to, the official archives of Nintendo or of Atari, or this is something that you would find kind of in the vault almost. I mean, it's so high quality and feels just so immediately important, that it's hard to not recommend. Now we'll go ahead and crack into this so that you can see the inside of the book and see what you can expect. Now in terms of pricing, this came in at 30 British pounds. Now I'm in the States, and so just to give you an idea, after conversion and after shipping, so shipping was about 15 US dollars. Now I don't want to necessarily say how fast this shipped. I'm not sure if this is always the case, but I got notification that my book shipped, and I had this from the UK here to the States in 2 days. It was shipped via DHL Express, and I had this book in my hands in 48 hours. I don't know what kind of witchcraft was used to make that happen, but if that is the case, and even if it took longer to ship, I can't recommend it highly enough. But the shipping time was absolutely stellar, and so very happy to have this book so soon after having ordered it. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump over to the other camera, and we will unbox this so that you can know what to expect on the inside if this is something that you would like to purchase. And I'm remembering now, I didn't say what the total price was. So with shipping and everything, this came out to about 50 US dollars, which again, for what we're getting here, and this is a 512 page book, and features over 170 games. This is really substantial, and for $50 shipped from the UK to the States, it earns a hearty recommendation. I'm not sure what shipping is in other parts of the world, or if you're having this shipped within the UK. I'm not sure how those prices vary, but I know that information is available on their site. So I'll include a link to their site most definitely, and then you can jump over there and take a look. But yes, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this unboxed. Okay, so here is the book. Again, this is in a very nice hardbound box set, kind of a slipcover almost, if you will, for the hardbound book that is, or for the hardcover book that's inside. So as you can see here, we have a number 4 on the spine here. So they do number their spines. They've done this style of book for other systems as well. As I mentioned, Heath on Serial at Midnight, he took a look at the Atari, their book for Atari, and so they have the numbers on the spine. So for us collectors, I know we like to have as many of the numbers as possible. And so let's go ahead and jump to the back here. So we have the Bitmap Books logo at the top. And then if you'd like to pause and read, you can go ahead and do so now. And this also does, I'll include it in the description below as well, but it has a link, or a link. It has the URL at which you can visit their site. Yeah, that's not a clickable link on the book. Come on, David. And as you can see here on the bottom, we have this cool rendering or digital illustration of Mario and Luigi. Of course, unofficially Mario and Luigi, but and we also have the kind of the suggested pricing here, and that's again about 30 British pounds. All right, and I'm gonna have to pull out the pocket knife here. The plastic on the outside of this, I thought I was gonna be able to just open it, but the plastic shrink wrap is actually pretty rigid. on the outside here, so be careful to not damage the book here, of course. There are some other really great publications on some other great books featuring Nintendo and SNES and Sega and those types of things, but there's something just next level about what is being presented here. All right, so let's give you a closer look to here at the cover so you can see this lenticular design kind of in action. So it's really, really fun, very colorful. And then we have the title of the book here, and then again on the spine and the back. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this out. And the other thing I want to mention is it's not a huge book. When I was when I first found out about Bitmap Books and I was going, and I was thinking these were going to be a lot bigger than it actually is, and I actually like the size of this a lot. It's not overbearing and just so big that it's hard to handle. It's very hefty, but it's a great size. So we'll go ahead and put our slip box to the side here. Now we're not going to look through the entire book here. Again, this is 512 pages, so a lot of content. But we will take a look at the different sections here and see what's included. So we do have a dust jacket, and it's just the same exact thing on the inside. So here we have a really cool 8-bit image here, and it looks like we have the NES equivalent to something like Stonehenge. All right. So here we have kind of an introduction. Okay, so here are the contents. Now I know the text is going to be very small, but we have a lot of contents here. So we have a list of the games that they take a look at. So that's the first section. So we have games. Well, first we have a forward, an icon is born, and then we have games. And then we have hardware photography, interviews, company profiles, which the companies included are Capcom, Konami, Namco, Nintendo, and Rare. Then we have family basic. We have a whole section on fan art, fan memories, box art, homebrew games, and then also unreleased games. And then finally on page 512 we get a section for thanks, so just a kind of a concluding page there. But the interesting thing is, so we have this section on unreleased games, and I know, and if you visit their site you'll see that they are going to be releasing a book in August that's dedicated to games that were never released. Games that, I believe the name of the book is something like Games That Weren't, or Games That Were Not. So that's one I'm excited to get when that's released. But, so a lot of great sections here. So here we have the foreword by Kevin Bayliss from 2016. And then here we have that first section, an icon is born. So now this is the Famicom, or which is short for Family Computer, which is the system that was released in Japan. And then here is a side view and rear view of the Nintendo. So here we have, the Family Computer disk system. And anyone who's a fan of Nintendo knows this guy here. Alright, so more of an introduction there. Alright, so what I want to do, let's go back to the contents here. So let's dive into just kind of the middle of what will be the games section here. So here we have Bubble Bobble, which, funny enough, is actually my wife's favorite game on the NES. It's funny that I opened up right to that. So we have some really great high quality screenshots, and just even the quality of the pages is really nice, but just high quality images, and the font on the page, it just looks very well put together. And then we have some quotes here. Here we have Metal Gear. So we'll go ahead and flip further down. Alright, so now let's see. So hardware photography. Oh, okay, so this is spread throughout the book, so it's not just all okay, I see what's going on here. Yeah, so it's not there's hardware photography all throughout. These sections aren't so for instance, here's some fan art. I was thinking that they would just happen progressively, these sections, but that's not the case. And then also a nice feature here is we have these really nice quality bookmark little tassels. So that'll be helpful if there's multiple sections that you'd like to be able to refer back to. There's Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. One of my favorite games here, Double Dragon. I actually really enjoyed all 3 Double Dragon games on the NES. Here we have Ice Hockey. This feels like, oh, Ninja Gaiden. This feels like an absolute love letter to a bygone era. This really, I mean, to say that it's nostalgic is just such an understatement. Here we have Star Tropics. I'm not as familiar with Star Tropics. I need to go through and play that game. Maniac Mansion. Dr. Mario is great. So here we have an example of one of the interviews. Oh, Game Genie. Anybody that played NES back in the day knows this screen here, the Game Genie. I even remember, even just seeing this image, I can think in my head of the sounds that it made as you selected the letters and things like that. Those things you don't forget. So here's an example of the interviews that are included in the book here. So here's an interview with David Darling, who began writing games on the Commodore PET when he was 11 years old, and along with his brother Richard founded Codemasters in 1986. So it'll be really interesting to read up on these interviews and kind of learn about some of the people in the industry. Oh, good. I wanted to make sure we got some of the box art section in here. So here we have some of the disk system cover art. And then here's some NES cover art. I've always loved the cover of that, of Metal Gear. One of my favorite games of all time is Metal Gear Solid from the PlayStation 1. And Double Dragon 2, one of my favorite covers as well. I like the coloring that they use on the pages too. Some of these are super bright and colorful. Others have a much darker presentation, like Batman Return of the Joker does here. But again, I can't speak highly enough on the quality of the pages and the pictures. Everything is just so crisp. Mega Man. Kirby. That's just a really great page right there. All right, Aliens 2. All right, so nearing the end. Oh, we even have the California Raisins, the Grape Escape. I actually didn't know that game existed. I was a huge fan of the California Raisins when I was growing up, and I had no idea that they had a title on the NES. I'll have to look that one up. All right, so it looks like the publication date here. So it was first published in 2017, but it looks like this particular book was printed in 2019. So these are very recent books. But yeah, just a really wonderful presentation here. So you can see the top there with the included bookmarks. Just very, very high quality all the way around. If you are a fan of classic games, of especially in this case NES or the Famicom system, this is just an absolute no-brainer. Absolutely archival quality, something that will keep on your shelf and be just a really treasured piece for forever. I can't wait to collect more of these and have them up on the shelf. I think these are just going to look really, really nice to have the whole series of books. I'm going to get as many of these as I can from them, so I'll definitely look forward to doing more of these videos in the future. But anyways, this is Bitmap Books presentation of the unofficial NES Famicom Visual Compendium. Very highly recommended. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me on the channel today and coming and watching this video. I'm just so impressed by the quality products that are coming out from these various companies that I am lucky enough to collect from in both movies and books. And there's so much quality content out there, and I'm so happy to promote and support however I can these companies. These are not huge organizations run with endless amounts of money. A lot of times these are collectors. These are fans of, in this case, fans of classic video games and things like that are helping to support the community of people that of like-minded people that enjoy those things as well. So I think it's always really exciting to see the community kind of supporting itself and creating products like this that are really meant for the community of people that they are a member of. And so whatever I can do to help support or promote the names of these companies, I'm happy to do that. So Bitmap Books is definitely on my list now. There are a lot of other books on their site that I'm excited to get. So hopefully we'll have, or not hopefully, we will have more of their books featured on this channel. I don't know exactly when that will happen, but that will most definitely happen. These are way too high of quality to not get more of. So really excited to do that. And if you found this video helpful or interesting in any way, I invite you to hit that subscribe button, the like button, and also the bell icon. That will notify you when I upload new content so that you can stay in the know. And definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know if you're interested in getting any of these books, or this book in particular, or any of the other books that Bitmap Books offers. Let me know. And also let me know what your favorite classic system is. For me, it's most definitely NES. That was the primary system that I grew up on. But let me know what your favorite is, and let's continue that conversation down below. And until next time, this is David signing off with Cartoon Fortress, and I hope you have a wonderful day.